Hi guys, it's Kyra from Plaid, and welcome back to our new product showcase for 2021. We are so excited. This week we are going to be here twice a day, Monday through Friday, bringing you tons of new products and inspiration. We launched this morning at 11 a.m. We were on here live, Jessie and I, talking all about our brand new Mod Podge Resin. And so we are going to do another live about Mod Podge Resin, and we're excited. We are going to get more into some awesome geodes and some pouring. But before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that if you want to find out any more information about all our new products this week, go to plaidonline.com/new. And Tamara is actually going to be chatting with you in the comments. So she's going to go head up and put all the links to all this information. We also have a great landing page for Mod Podge Resin. So it's plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin. So again, you can check out all this information, all the product inspiration. You can purchase Mod Podge Resin right on Plaid Online. So you definitely want to go to that website after the live and check that out. So we are going to talk all about resin. It is one of the hottest trends in DIY and crafting these days. And so under one of our most iconic brands, Mod Podge, we created a two-part resin system. We have got the resin, we have silicone molds, we have alcohol inks, and we have some great surfaces that you can use with your resin or just for great crafting surfaces. So we're going to kind of touch on all of that. We've got Jessie in the studio, and because anytime you're working with resin, you want to be safe and smart about protecting your surface and about protecting yourself. So we're going to go over a little bit about safety working with resin. And again, we have put all this information together for you on plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin. And we have a great downloadable PDF which has all the information you're going to need, whether you're getting started or safety and tips and tricks. So we've made it really easy. We've pulled this all together for you. So it's a really great document to have, and we'll keep referring to it during this live. I have the iPad here, so I'm going to try to answer questions live. So if you guys see me scrolling, please let me know if you have a question, and I'll try to answer it if Tamara doesn't chat back and forth with you. Again, she's going to place all the links. It's a lot of information. We were joking when we were planning these lives is how do we talk about everything you can do with Mod Podge Resin? It is really endless what you can make, whether it's our surfaces or our molds. And I even forgot to tell you, we have these amazing do-it-yourself resin kits. So we've made it so easy, like a one-stop shop for you, that we have resin, so it's the two-part system, glitter, alcohol inks, your cups, your stirs, everything, and a mold. It's all going to come in this kit. So we've got a great variety of these kits also, and they're beautifully themed, and I can walk through those also as we get started. I have a ton of inspiration to show you. So whether you're doing DIY jewelry, we've got coasters, we've got decor. Again, we're going to pour. And I have so much stuff on set, I can't wait to show you guys. So we've got a lot of things I'm going to be reaching and grabbing, but I want to inspire you all. Again, we're just really excited, and it's going to be a really fun week. So you make sure you want to check back after you check out our Mod Podge Resin that we're going to be here all week. The rest of the team's going to be here. And at the end of the week, we're going to finish up with Andy Jones and Donna Dewberry. They're going to be talking about our Let's Paint program. So we've got a really busy week and exciting for everybody. So Jessie is going to start by talking about all the supplies. She's going to walk you through that, and then she is going to mask up and put on her respirator and her gloves, and then she's going to actually pour and do the geodes, and I'm going to walk you through all the crafting. So, awesome. Hey Jessie.
Hey guys, thanks Kyra.
Yeah.
So like Kyra said, I want to talk a little bit about the supplies you'll need for resin. So in working with any resin, it's really important to protect your surface and also to protect yourself. So to protect my surface here today, I have this nice big silicone mat, which is great because when the resin cures on it, I can just peel it off and start fresh every time. Or you can use wax paper, some sort of plastic table covering, or even palette paper works great for it. Just something that kind of covers up your table so you're not getting resin onto it. Even more importantly than protecting your surface is to protect yourself. So I'm going to show you guys what I keep in my little resin box. So we recommend putting all of your resin supplies in a separate box from the rest of your craft supplies just as an extra safety measure. So in my resin box, I have my respirator here that has my organic vapor cartridge on it. I also have my protective eyewear to protect my eyes. I have my disposable nitrile gloves, of course, for protecting my hands. And then I also like to keep this PDF. This is the same PDF that Kyra just mentioned, so you can find this on plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin, and it has everything you need to know about keeping yourself safe, but also about using our really awesome new product, Mod Podge Resin. So I like to keep this in my box as well, just so I always have it on hand. And like Kyra said, it's a two-part system. So when you mix your resin, you want to make sure you have even parts of part 1 and part 2. So I like to have these really awesome little measuring cups. So this is what I like to store my resin in. They have all the little measurements on them. So I have some larger ones and some smaller ones depending on the size of the project that I'll be making. To stir your resin, I like to have my stir sticks. So I use popsicle sticks, but you can use wooden dowels. Any sort of disposable stir is great, or you can even use silicone tools to mix your resin. I also want to mention too, speaking of silicone, you can also use silicone cups. If you're worried about waste or you don't want to have to be purchasing new cups every time, you can use silicone cups for your resin, and they're really easy to clean. Also, speaking of cleaning, I also like to keep some baby wipes on hand. So whenever I'm crafting, I always keep baby wipes on hand, but they're extra good for staying clean with resin. And then whenever you do resin, you want to make sure there's no bubbles in it. So to do that, we like to use this little butane torch. A couple of other options are this really great sort of heat gun for crafting, or you can also use 91% rubbing alcohol. So you can spritz this on the surface of your crafts, and then it just pops all the bubbles right there on the surface. And last but not least, I like to keep this little timer. So whenever you're working with resin, it's really important that you stir your resin for a certain amount of time and let it set for a certain amount of time and things like that. So I like to have this designated timer in my resin case just so I can have it for whenever I'm working with my Mod Podge resin.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Jessie.
Sure.
So lots of people watching. Everybody's excited. You guys, we are so excited
Awesome.
too. So again, Tamara is putting the links so you guys can easily find all this new product info and information about Mod Podge Resin. So Jessie is putting on her gear so we can get crafting. But I want to show you guys just some more projects while she does this. So Jessie is going to be doing some geodes, and she's going to show you up closer some examples. But we have this really great geode mold, and again, resin, pouring, geodes are all really hot. You know, anywhere you look on Pinterest, if you check out our Pinterest boards, we've got tons of great examples. And so she's going to show you how to do this beautiful black and gold geode, like just so elegant and beautiful. And these are great. You can use them as coasters. Resin makes great coasters. We've got a lot of molds for that. You could use it as decor if you pop this in a shadow box. We even have like a decorative box here. You could see we just glued it to the top, and you can actually use resin as an adhesive also. So you could pour your geode and then place your resin right on top here, your geode that you made. So great for decor. And we are going to also make some geodes out of wood slices. So this is just started out, we call them wood cookies, if you guys can see that. Again, Jessie's gonna give you close-ups overhead once we go to her, but these were just wood slices that we transform into beautiful geodes. So again, this is what it started out as, and this is where we went. So just amazing things that you can do with resin. Another thing that you can do is you can embed. So dried flowers, this is also really beautiful. You could purchase dried flowers, or you could dry your own flowers, and you could embed them and preserve them in resin. So this is a great way to preserve, whether it's a wedding or a special event and you had some flowers, you know, if you didn't want to purchase them, this is a great way to use those flowers. Also with embedding, you could do, this is a great example. So these are our alcohol inks that we make, and I can show you guys here. We've got some great alcohol inks, and Jessie's going to use them. And these alcohol inks are great to use whether you're using it with resin or if you're just doing some different type of crafting. Like it's great for paper crafting and to use on glass and ceramic, canvases, a lot of fun things you can do with this. So our Mod Podge alcohol inks makes a great addition to the resin. They're beautiful transparent colors. And what we've done on here is we've created a really pretty beach scene, and then we've embedded seashells and sea glass into the canvas. So again, you go to the beach, what do you do with all these leftover pieces? And you bring them home, and this is just a great way to display and preserve your shells and you know, your memories. So I love that idea. Mod Podge resin also works really great with all of our other products. Mod Podge, Folk Art, our apple barrel paints. So this is an example of a project. We decoupaged using Mod Podge old newspapers and magazine pages. Even book pages would work. Book crafting is really popular. Mod Podged it onto a canvas. Then we stenciled the word love using our folk art paint. And then what we did is we took dried flowers and we embedded them into the resin and poured on top of it. So we placed the flowers and then resined right over it, and it embeds the flowers right into it. And you guys can hear how hard that is. So that is resin, and how shiny it is. That is what is amazing about resin. Like, there's no other texture like that. So, you know, it is just a really unique product. So that is a great thing to do. Also, I want to show you guys some of the amazing surfaces that we have. So we have created surfaces under the Mod Podge Resin brand. These are wood surfaces that can be used with our resin, and they were designed with a channel built into them. So they're great for pouring resin into them, but you can also use them for any other DIY and crafting. So for example, it started out like this. And then this one, we created a beach scene. We poured right into it with our alcohol inks and resin, and then we embedded the sand and the shells right into it. So really fun things that you can do. Again, I've got a big stack of projects here. I want to show you guys though, just to, you know, inspire you. And all these projects and inspiration are on plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin. We have over 25 videos and tons of projects on there that you can make. So we walk you through every step of how to do all these amazing projects. You know, we've got this great leaf pattern. So foliage and leaves are really trendy. It was like the pattern of the year. So we thought this is a great design. And what you can do is Mod Podge paper, again, Mod Podge resin works so great with so many other products that we make. Mod Podge right into the leaf and then pour resin right on top of it. Again, just a great decor piece. You could even put legs on this and use it as, you know, a little tray would be great. So lots of great ideas. You could also do jewelry. So for example, we had another mold just to make some bangles. So this is just glitter and bangles, like very simple. But you can use our alcohol inks and our glitters, and you can make all this jewelry. The same with our alphabet mold. So we have our alphabet mold here, and here's a couple of our other silicone molds. So we have a variety of silicone molds. Jessie's going to use our geode mold, and then I have two of our other more basic shapes. So these are great for coasters, and if you go back and watch our live from 11, you can see Jessie does 3 different versions of these coasters and shows you how easy and it is fun to make these projects. And then we also have an alphabet silicone mold, and you guys, this is so satisfying when you pop these out, but you can create and personalize tons of different gifts and decor. You could do keychains, jewelry, you could do little shadow boxes. So we decoupaged using Mod Podge, just a little baby picture, and then we spelled out the name Ava. So again, just endless things that you can do with resin. So Jessie, do you want to start crafting? Okay. So again, Jessie is working in a well-ventilated area. Again, when you're working anytime with resin, you want to be smart and safe about it. Any type of resin, you always want to follow the safety protocols on the packaging. And again, for our Mod Podge Resin, we've made it so simple and easy for you. If you go to plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin, we have this great downloadable printable that, you know, really breaks down how to keep yourself protected, how to, you know, where you should work, like what your environment should be. It talks about the temperature to work in for your resin, because you don't want your resin to get too cold. It talks about proper, you know, storage of your resin. So a lot of great information, because it is a lot if you haven't done it, but we make it so simple and easy for you, so it isn't a scary thing. So Jessie is masked up. She's got her nitrile gloves on, her apron, her mask, and her glasses. So she is going to craft, and I am going to walk you through exactly what she is doing. So again, I'm going to be checking if you guys have any questions. I would love to answer them if Tamara hasn't got to you yet. So yeah, let's get going. So Jessie is going to start by creating a geode using the wood cookie. So we actually make these wood slices. We call them wood cookies here. It's just a very simple shape. You could use any type of wood round or coaster. And what she is doing is she is using a painter's tape, like a low tack tape, and she is taping around the edge of the wood slice. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a lip, and you're going to be able to pour your resin directly into that, and it is going to hold until the resin sets, and then you're going to remove the tape. So does that make sense, Jessie? They're getting a good overhead of that. Let me see. So yeah, so what she's done is she's taken a piece of wood, taped off around the edge to leave a lip, and then once she mixes her resin, she's going to pour directly in there, and that tape is going to hold the resin while it sets. Okay, so Jessie's gonna set that aside. And now she is going to mix our resin. So like I mentioned before, I've been showing all these projects. I want to talk more about the products. So Mod Podge Resin is a two-part system. It comes in a kit for you already, so you don't need to worry that you bought one bottle or you need another bottle. It comes in a 4-ounce, an 8-ounce, or in your big set, but we're going to give you both parts so you're ready to go. So you're going to need your disposable or silicone cups because it's really important that you mix correctly when you're using resin. You want to do an equal 1-to-1 ratio of part 1 of your Mod Podge resin and part 2 of your Mod Podge resin. So Jessie is putting part 1 into a cup. Okay, and then she is going to take her part 2. Yeah, okay, so now she's going to put her part 2 of the Mod Podge resin. And then she's going to combine part 1 and part 2 into a cup. And we use 3 cups so we make sure we have exact equal measurements. She's using her craft stick and she's going to make sure she gets all of the resin out and scrapes the sides and bottom really well. All right, I'm just looking, everybody is watching, lots of inspiration. You guys make sure you go to Plaid Online after. You can also watch our first video at 11 that we talked all about Mod Podge, and Jessie made some great coasters. And again, we have over 25 videos that are available to you on plaidonline.com and on our YouTube channel. This video and all our other new product videos from this week, our new product showcase videos, are going to be available on Plaid's YouTube channel after the fact. So now what Jessie is doing is it is important that you stir your Mod Podge part 1 and part 2 together for 3 minutes. So Jessie is going to slowly and thoroughly stir her resin, part 1 and part 2 together. You want to make sure you scrape the sides and scrape the bottoms. And again, then we're going to get to the really fun part, you guys, I promise. It's going to be really fun to watch her pour. It's so beautiful. Yeah, and so it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Some people were asking about measuring. So depending on the size of the project, that's why we like to have a variety of different cups. And the cups that we have are really great because they have measurements on them. But it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Yeah. Okay, so she is mixing. And again, we're going to be pouring geodes. And we are going to be here all week, so you guys don't want to forget. You want to tune in. We've got a lot of great new products this year we're so excited about. We're going to be showing you how to craft with them, really inspiring you. Again, we're going to finish off the week talking about our Let's Paint program, which has just been a huge success for us, and we're so excited to continue. We've got Andy and Donna here, and Jessie's going to talk about Let's Paint Live, which if you guys haven't joined that, it's awesome. It is a free online education program using all our amazing products. So Jessie is stirring. Again, she just set her timer for 3 minutes, and she is stirring the 1 part and 2 part of the Mod Podge resin. And again, we have 2 different sizes. So we've got our 8-ounce, which when combined makes 16 ounces of resin. And then we have our 4-ounce bottles, which combined make 8 ounces. So we've put this together. We've made it really easy for you. And then we also have our kits, which is our do-it-yourself resin kits by Mod Podge. And this comes with a silicone mold, glitter, alcohol inks, and your measuring cups. So it's got all that stuff right in a box and makes it really easy for you. So whether you've never done resin before or you're just looking for some more inspiration, it's a great way to get started, or just pick it up when you're out and grab it, or order it on plaidonline.com. So also our Mod Podge resin is food safe. So you can create beautiful cutting boards like this. These are some great examples of things we've done. And, oh no! Okay, sorry guys, we're live. I knew that was gonna happen. Okay, craft down. All right, so our Mod Podge resin is food safe. So you can see some beautiful examples of cutting boards that we've made here. So you can use that, and all this information about Mod Podge resin being food safe is available on our website on plaidonline.com/Mod Podge resin. Again, we break it down and make it so easy for you. And you can also do tumblers. And like I said, resin is a huge trend, pouring. These tumblers are everywhere, and it is a great way to personalize something for yourself or to give as a gift. That's Jessie's timer. So this is a great way to personalize, like I said, a gift for a wedding shower. You can just about anything personalize with. So we've actually used loose glitter and Mod Podge. We let this dry, then we added resin to it. Jessie's got a great example up there of how you can either stencil or use one of your electronic cutters and do a monogram. And then you can preserve it and protect it. And since it's food safe, you can pour right over your tumbler with the Mod Podge resin. So some great options here. Okay, Jessie, now your timer went off. Okay, people are loving the cutting boards. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So now what she's gonna do is she let her resin sit for 2 minutes, and she is taking her butane torch, and she's going to lightly go across back and forth over the resin that she mixed, the 1 and 2 parts, and this is gonna get your initial set of bubbles off. Don't worry if there's bubbles left in your cup, because we're gonna go back and hit it with a torch again. It's gonna remove all the bubbles. And again, there's some other great options if you don't wanna use a butane torch like Jessie mentioned, whether it's a heat gun, a hair dryer, or 91% rubbing alcohol. But again, all of that is in our videos. We're just using the torch. We find that it works really well for the pours that we're doing, so we've just gotten used to it, and it's really easy to use, and it really does get the bubbles out nicely. Okay, so Jessie is now gonna take her resin that she mixed, and she's gonna separate it out into smaller cups. So she's gonna do about equal in each 3 cups. Yep, and then it's great, again, to have a popsicle sticks, craft sticks, because you can really scrape the side and get everything out, because it's really thick. And when you're working with Mod Podge resin, you want to make sure that you're being mindful of the time once you mix your 1 and 2 part resin together, because it's about 30 to 40 minutes before it starts to set up. So you have about 30 minutes or so to work with your resin before you need to let it sit. And then it's 24 hours till it's hard enough that you can demold it. And so we'll talk about that here at the end, but it's 24 hours you can demold it, and then it's 3 to 7 days to fully cure. Okay, so Jessie is now going to use our Folk Art acrylic paint, and she is going to mix it into the resin. And we're gonna use alcohol inks on the next project. Alcohol inks are very transparent. When you use our Folk Art paint with the resin, it is very opaque. So just remember, it's gonna be a different look than using the alcohol inks, but you can also use them in combination and get some really beautiful effects. So Jessie's gonna mix the paint into the resin, and you wanna just make sure it's mixed really, really well. All right, so Jessie is mixing. We've got a couple different shades of green and a white. And Jessie, do you wanna hold up the geode that you're making so you guys can see? Okay, so yeah, so she's gonna show exactly, and again, these geodes are so beautiful. You would never tell it started out just as a piece of wood. These are great, like I said, you can attach them to boxes, to notebooks, you can put them in a shadow box, you can make bookends out of them, or they are just great coasters or decor pieces to have. So Jessie, oh, that's a great shot, Jessie, you can see the coaster right while you're mixing. Yeah, so okay, so she is mixing, almost done. And now she's gonna, you guys remember when we started, she taped off one of the wood cookies, one of the wood slices. She used painter's tape or a low tack tape. She created a lip around the wood, and she's going to pour the resin directly into it there. And she is just gonna go in a circular motion, and you guys will be able to see this. And the resin is so thick, you really do have a lot of control over it. It's nice, you can see exactly where you're pouring is where that resin's gonna go. Yep. Okay, so someone has a question how long it needs to sit before taking out of the mold. So 24 hours before you demold your resin. And you want to make sure that, you know, in your well-ventilated area, you are working on a level workspace. That's going to make sure that the resin dries even in any of your molds or anything you're pouring on. Okay, and so Jessie's done her dark green, her light green, white, and now she's going back, and she's just almost like following like those rings on the tree. That's funny how similar that is. And then just kind of swirling back and forth. You can see you can start to get the movement. There you go. Okay, so you can absolutely tint the resin before or after. We like to pre-mix it, but you can absolutely add your alcohol inks into clear resin once it's in your mold or on your project, but with the paint, you need to pre-mix it. Okay, and now Jessie's gonna go back and grab her butane torch, and she's going to lightly move it across the surface. You don't wanna touch the resin, you wanna lightly move it across, and she's gonna remove any bubbles. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking for questions. Okay, and now she's gonna add, you can see on the example, she's using some gold leaf, so pieces of gold leaf, and then she's also gonna add some gold glitter, some loose glitter. So she's just taking tweezers and placing the gold leaf right into the resin, and that's gonna embed right into the resin and give some beautiful texture and make it really look like the inside of a geode cracked open. It's looking good, those colors are really pretty.
Fun.
It is really fun. Like, this is the first time I've worked with resin with this product line, and it is one of my favorite things to do. And I was joking earlier, I'm gonna say everything's my favorite this week, but this one is so much fun. You're creating something from nothing almost when you mix that together.
Totally.
It's just really unique, and you can use it with so many other things. Like, for example, we have on the table, I don't know if they can see that, someone's child's Legos, and you want to preserve that memory, or you're decorating a room and you want to theme it. Like, that is just such a great way to create personal decor. Like I said, the cups, the tumblers are a great thing. The beautiful pours and the jewelry, you can just make so many like personalized gifts, and it's just really fun to do.
Okay.
Okay. He's looking really pretty.
Thanks. So now some glitter.
Yep, okay, so she's placed the gold leaf. And then she is just sprinkling some loose gold glitter right in the middle. It looks really pretty.
Thanks. All done.
Yep. And so someone's asking how much resin can you mix at a time? So just about 8 ounces at a time. It depends how big your pour or your mold is. If you're using a large canvas, you could go ahead and pre-mix more. If you're pouring or doing a larger project like a table, we've done some really great tabletops. But remember, you only have 30 to 40 minutes once you mix your 1 and 2 part resin together, so just be mindful because you don't want to waste it. Okay, so we've got the awesome geode. And then again, you can see once you let it sit for 24 hours, you just remove the painter's tape. And then Jessie, do you want to show them the edge? Okay, so what we've done is that would typically be bark, but we used our Folk Art Treasure Gold and painted the ends, and it just has this beautiful shine because Treasure Gold is the most metallic paint out there, and it is just a great way to finish off that project. So awesome, those look great.
Thanks.
Okay, so next she's actually going to pour into a mold, so we want to show you just a couple different ways. We've done a lot of different things. We've poured into mason jar lids, we've poured onto our wood surfaces, we've poured into letters with our silicone molds, we've poured on canvases. Jessie's gonna show you how to do this. It's a big guy here, it's bigger than my face here. So again, we've poured on so many different things to inspire you guys, but molds is typically like, I think also when you're first getting started, it's a good one to start with. And Plaid makes a number of molds. We've got some great basic coaster shapes. We've got this geode, and we've got an alphabet. Okay, so you have your resin that we've already pre-mixed. And again, she's gonna go ahead and separate out her resin. And again, you can use silicone cups. We're just using disposable cups today for filming. The silicone cups and mats are great to work on. You just want to let it dry. And is using our alcohol inks. So Mod Podge created alcohol inks. We have a couple different sets. There's a gold and a silver, there's blues, there's greens, there's purples, and there's these pinks. And we have these sets. They are great to use with resin. Again, it's going to create this beautiful transparent color, or you can use them with other crafting, which, you know, if you're doing paper crafting or painting or canvas, it's a great addition to your craft supplies. In our kit also, each kit is themed and it comes with coordinating alcohol inks. So we're actually using the kit, it's back here behind me, it's blacks and golds. So you're going to get black and gold glitter. Exactly what you would get with that and what you can do with it. So remember, the more alcohol ink you put in, the darker it gets. It's going to be transparent, so the black's going to look really dark on camera, but it's still going to be different than paint. It has a different texture and look once it dries. And so she is mixing that, and the more alcohol ink, the darker, but always transparent. Someone's saying it's hard to let it dry. Like, demolding it is so fun.
It's so satisfying.
That's why I was like, I'm going to pop all these letters up on camera today.
It's really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so she is mixing the black, and it's really a beautiful black. You can see here also, we were talking about the food safe resin. So we did, this is alcohol ink, the gold and the silver you can see. And we even used treasure gold on this and then resined right on top of it, but you can see how beautiful that is. Okay, and then Jessie is going to use the gold, and you want to make sure that you shake your alcohol ink before you use it, so give it a little shake there. Perfect. Okay, so now she's going to mix that. And again, you just want to make sure that it's mixed really well. And the rule of thumb is, so anything we add to our resin, we're calling them additives, whether it's glitter or gold leaf or paint or alcohol inks. It's a 5% ratio to the amount of resin you're using. And again, remember, we've made this all really easy for you. We have broke all that down. So we've got this great like cheat sheet for you if you've never used resin, but it's 5%. So that is the proper ratio of resin to additive when you're mixing. But again, we break that all down. We make it really easy. We give you all the working times. And just, this is a great thing to have on hand. Like Jessie said, we keep all our resin supplies together and you can just pop that in there. We were saying you could even laminate this. That would be a great thing to do to keep in your bin. Okay, so you're mixed and now we have our silicone mold. You don't need to prep it. It's non-stick, so you're gonna be able to demold it and get that satisfaction once it hardens. And Jessie's gonna start by pouring right into the mold. And it is, that black is so black and that metallic is beautiful. And you're just using a tray to pour onto just so you can move it easily. But you can put this right on your work surface.
I don't want it to flop.
Okay, so she's gonna start pouring. It looks great.
Thanks.
And you guys, it really is fun to do.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's like you can paint a surface or you can, you know, decoupage or Mod Podge something, but like you're making like this from nothing in a mold, which is a really fun thing to do, a really fun process.
Totally.
Okay, and now you're doing the gold, and that metallic ink is really pretty, especially right up against that black.
I love it.
Me too. Okay, so Jessie is just gonna pour. And again, you guys, we have so many videos. We show you how to do different versions of these geodes and use all our molds. Go to plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin. We have a ton of great information for you. Okay, so we're gonna kind of tilt it around. You see you can get some movement there. All right, and now she's gonna take the loose glitter and she's gonna sprinkle it. She's just using her fingers and she's gonna sprinkle it around the edges. It's really pretty.
So fun.
Yep, and then we're just using loose glitter. Again, this glitter comes in this kit with this mold.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Okay, and then when you're done with that, you're gonna let it sit for 24 hours and you're gonna demold it. And then Jessie, will you hold up the two that you already made? You got glitter all over you. Grab a baby wipe.
Hence the baby wipes.
Yep. See, wow, there's some shine on that. And then you kind of have that aqua colored geo. So that one, instead of using loose glitter, you actually used Folk Art Glitterific to create the rim of that. So once you've let your resin set, you can paint on Folk Art Glitterific, let that dry, and you can put a clear coat of resin on top of it and layer it. So just a little different look than loose glitter. And we know we all love Folk Art Glitterific, so just another way to incorporate a product with your Mod Podge resin that you may already have or want to have in your craft supplies.
Yeah.
And then you also painted the edges of these with the Folk Art Treasure Gold.
Yes.
So another way, you can paint right on top of your resin. So again, all you did to finish that out, you want to show the edge?
Yeah.
Yep. All we did was take our Folk Art Treasure Gold and again painted the edges of that. So it's beautiful.
Thanks.
All right, awesome. Okay, so Jessie is going to reset, so let's give her a minute, and she is going to pour with Mod Podge resin. So we have been pouring for, I don't know, a year or two now. We've got some great Folk Art pouring medium. We've got our Folk Art pre-mixed pouring paint, but you can pour with resin. So there's a couple options. You can pour your canvas with our Folk Art pouring medium or pouring paint, let that dry, and then you can resin on top of it. So you can see the sheen that you get. So this is a great example. This is a galaxy pour that we did, and this is using Color Shift, Folk Art Color Shift, and we poured with it, let that dry, and then we put resin on top of it. Or you can use Mod Podge resin as your pouring medium. So that's really fun and something different to do. So Jessie's gonna walk you through how to do that. I want to show you guys some more projects while she's resetting. So again, this is a great project that we did here. So this is using one of our wood surfaces. And again, it's got this great channel right through the middle. We've used our Folk Art paint to create a geode and then our Glitterific. Let that dry, and then we poured right over top of it. We also have done, I showed you guys the beach. These are great. Sorry, I'm reaching, but I want to show you guys so much fun stuff. This is a journal, a notebook that we, again, we did the same technique that we did with that geode that Jessie made. We used painter's tape, and this is just a journal. We taped off the edge, made a lip, then we poured onto it. We used some gold leafing on the spine and on the front. Let that dry, then took the tape off, sanded it down just to get the rough edges, and then you have this beautiful journal. So this would be great for a photo album or a gift to give. Again, just a great way to use resin that's not as traditional as just putting it in a mold. Here's another pour that we did with Folk Art paint and glitter, and we even did some rock salt crystals. So another great option. All right, are you ready? Okay, I got a thumbs up.
Yep, all good. I'm gonna do my colors first.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Jessie is gonna do some pouring. Again, we're gonna use Mod Podge Resin as our pouring medium. Okay, so we are gonna be doing a canvas similar to this, and this is a big guy, but I did wanna show you guys because he's so beautiful. So this is, she's doing a smaller version, just so she's able to show you guys what she's doing. Okay, so Jessie she's already pre-mixed her resin and torched it. And so now she is separating it out so she can mix her Folk Art paint into it. All right, so she is just pouring. I'll see if there's any questions. Yep, people are asking if it's food safe. So if it's properly cured, it is food safe. So again, go to plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin. We've got a lot of great information. Again, we make it so easy. The way we just break it down. You want to be smart and safe about crafting, you know, and we just make it really easy for you in the process. Like it is really fun to do. And again, you can personalize whether you're embedding flowers like in jewelry or for home decor. Like this is a great example of embedding flowers. You can preserve seashells. This is a great for Christmas ornaments. This is just a mason jar lid. And what we did was we took seashells and sea glass, placed it into the mason jar lid, and then just filled it with the Mod Podge resin. And that is great. It'd be so pretty to decorate and make a whole collection of these, especially for ornament exchanges. This is a great way to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so Jessie's got all her resin mixed and split up, and now she's going to start by adding her folk art paint into it. Okay, and you are just putting a squirt, so it's a 5% paint to Mod Podge resin. And that's just because you don't want to change the consistency or the mixture of the resin. So it does get a little technical, but again, we break it down and make it really easy. Again, we've got a number of videos on plaidonline.com and on our YouTube channel. We're going to have all these new product showcase videos available for you on one easy playlist, so you guys can go and watch and get excited about all the new product we have coming out. So Jessie's mixing folk art acrylic paint and also folk art treasure gold. Again, one of our favorites. Everything's our favorite.
I know. Okay.
Yeah. Yep, so someone's asking about the cutting board. So you can use the cutting board. We do not recommend cutting on the cutting board. It's more for like a cheese board or cheese plate. It is food safe, but I wouldn't use a knife and cut into your resin. So, but again, we've got a lot of great information about that. Okay, so she is mixing the paint with the resin, and we're gonna do a pour. And again, we love pouring. I feel like everybody loves watching that, so we thought this was a great thing to do. We're gonna have a lot of more craft breaks coming up. You know, we're live on Wednesdays and Fridays, so we'll be doing a lot more resin projects with you guys. Awesome. Tomorrow we have another fun day of Mod Podge. We've got some more new formulas. We're going to talk about Bucilla this week. We've got Andy and Donna talking about Let's Paint, and Jessie will be talking about Let's Paint Live. We've got One Decor from Folk Art. So we've got a lot of new fun stuff, you guys. It's really exciting and inspiring. So we'll be live at 11 and 3 every day this week. Okay, those colors are beautiful from here. You can really see them great. So we've got golds and aquas and a pretty coral and a navy. Perfect for spring.
Yeah.
Okay, so setting this aside. Awesome. Okay, so then Jessie has a canvas, and she's already gone ahead and put her push pins, her thumbtacks, right into the corners of her canvas. So we always say this is a great tip when you're pouring because it allows everything to pour off the sides. So she's already prepped that. And now we're gonna pour. And again, with this resin, you get some beautiful cells and movement. So it is just another great way to create these beautiful pours. And then it dries with that crystal clear, you know, Mod Podge resin dries completely clear, and you can hear it. I love just doing that with my fake nails on. But you can feel and, you know, see that shine of how beautiful that is when it dries. All right, so Jessie is just doing a pour. And it's okay to go off your canvas. Again, she's got her workspace protected. She's using a silicone mat, which we love to craft on. You could use a plastic table cover or parchment paper or palette paper, works great also. All right, so she's pouring. Colors are pretty.
Thanks.
Yeah. It is really bright and beautiful. Everybody's watching, loving the idea. The food's safe. If you haven't tried pouring, you have to try it with resin. It's fun. It's so different. It just has like a different feel or texture to it, but it's a great alternative, and you could do both, which is really great. That navy and the gold is really pretty next to each other.
Thanks.
Yeah. Right, so Jessie is pouring. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. And you want to completely cover your canvas. Again, if you wanted to add any glitter, or we do the rock salt with Mod Podge and make the geode crystals, you could absolutely do this. You just want to get poured and make sure you swirl first and then add your additives. So for, let's see if I have an example here. This is an example of one that we did. Again, we poured it, and then, so we poured this with our folk art pouring paint. Then we added glitterific and our rock salt Mod Podge, our Mod Podge rock salt. And then once that was dry, we poured resin right on top of it. So again, it just gives that beautiful sheen. Okay, are you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Jessie is now going to make the magic happen. All right, so she is going to pour. It's so pretty, those colors. All right, so she is swirling, and you can really see some movement. I'm watching on the iPad, and it's delayed.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Okay,
still
so
mixing for you.
she is going to move and tilt that and get that exactly where she wants it. And again, you're going to get some beautiful movement and cells when using this resin. And then you guys can see the bubbles. So after she's done and gets it exactly how she wants it positioned on the canvas, she's going to take the butane torch and she's going to go over her entire canvas. Again, moving it across, left and right, up and down, not touching the resin, but gently moving it across about an inch or so above the canvas. And all those bubbles are going to go away. And it's going to really, it's like magic. It takes those bubbles out. Again, you can use a heat gun, a hair dryer, or the rubbing alcohol. And again, we break that all down on plaidonline.com for you, some different options. Again, we just really like using the butane torch. It seems to work really well for us, especially it's quick when we're crafting live for you guys. Yes, so someone's asking, can resin be poured on top of a tray that's been previously painted? Absolutely. If you have a project or you purchase something and you want to pour resin over it, you can absolutely pour on top of that. And a lot of our projects, that's what we do. This is a great example. So this is, again, one of our wood surfaces. As you can see here, one of our wood surfaces actually painted this with glitter and paint, and wrote the word create in it, let that dry, and then poured resin on top of it. So that is a great way to preserve and protect and add it to all of your artwork.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, someone is asking, oh, hey, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
She's asking if you can use the resin that comes off for anything else. You know what, once it comes off, I would just say it's a goner. I wouldn't try to scoop it up and reuse it. I would just, I know pouring paint, we say you can reuse, but with the resin, once it's done, you're done. And I would just I would throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Jessie's taking the butane torch, and I hope you guys can see like magic. The bubbles are going away, so it's gonna be that, it's like glass all finish that you get. It's that crystal clear. Mod Podge resin dries clear, and it has got that beautiful sheen to it. It's like nothing else that we make. And again, it works great with so many of our other products. So you can decoupage, you can use all our other Mod Podge formulas, and you can do great projects. You can Mod Podge on coasters, on canvases, on boxes. Even you could Mod Podge right onto your cutting board and then cover it with Mod Podge resin to protect and seal it. So that's a great way to protect and seal any of your paper crafting and your decoupaging. That looks great, Jessie. It's really pretty.
Wow.
Nope, you're good. It looks really, really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So again, just a great way to pour. Again, resin is so hot. It is so fun to do. It's endless. Like I said, I mean, we could show you a million projects. So again, we hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for joining us. We're excited about Mod Podge Resin. We're excited about our new product showcase from Plaid for 2021. The team will be here all week at 11 and 3 Eastern. And we are going to be sharing inspiration and tips and tricks with you and demonstrating all the new fun stuff we have coming up. You're getting a sneak peek. Again, we hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Tamara will answer them after. Go to plaidonline.com/Mod Podge Resin to check out specifically about Mod Podge Resin. But you can also go to plaidonline.com/new, and that is going to be our listing of all our new products for you to check out. So you guys have a great rest of the day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Happy crafting.